Talk about the Browns' loss, how he's feeling today. Talk about maybe a special teams miscue or two. We head out to the fan hotline and welcome on Browns legend Josh Cribbs on the fan hotline. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, it's great to have you. We appreciate you coming on. I guess we'll start here. When it comes to the two reasons why it really felt you lost yesterday, the receivers turning completions into interceptions or Andre Schmidt, the kicker, not hitting his kicks, which one left you more frustrated from that week one loss for the Browns?
Well, until you just reminded me of the drops, it was the kicking situation because that's what we are going through, have been going through and dealing with for the last few years. So for me, it's a team loss. Stefanski said it best. They take, at some point they have to overcome the kicking issues, the drop passes, which just means they got to score more points. I don't think the defense can help you any more than they've done, as far as like shutting down Joe Burrow, shutting down Jamar Chase from having a highlight reel, and T. Higgins. That was the issue going into the game. Who's going to stop T. Higgins? Who's going to bottle up Jamar Chase? Well, that happened. That happened to, the whole Bengals offense, and we still lost, even with the Bengals offense not even being able to get over 100 yards. When you look at that game, I think the Browns played really well. I'm looking at it in a, optimistic viewpoint, minus the kicking game. Jerry Jeudy had a drop and then came back and caught the pass when it mattered most at the end, towards the end. And we weren't able to completely have a team victory because of the kick. So we weren't able to overcome it as an offense. What this team needs to do is be able to overcome the mistakes that happen. Have such a lead to the point where, hey, you can miss a few kicks. Because guess what? We're going to, and it's going to cost us a game. So that has to be the mentality now moving forward. You have to play so good that you have to be able to have those mistakes that happen to our Browns and seems to be only our Browns. Overcoming that means scoring more points.
Would you bring in a new kicker, or do you feel like after he missed a couple in week one, his confidence might be shot and he just might never recover?
Well, they can make kicks all day in practice. They can make it. When the lights aren't on, they make it all day. That's the decision that Andrew Bray has to make. I seen it when I was there coaching with the team. I seen them do something that I think they need to continue to do. Is they brought the entire staff, the scouting department, they brought the coaches, and they all circled around the kicker towards the end of practice. I mean, literally, you have scouts and the general manager, they're all on the field. And they're putting the pressure on these kickers to where, hey, you miss this, it's going to be bad. And it's after practice, and they simulate that pressure because nowhere else do the pressure get simulated for a kicker until you have to win a game. And that's what, plagued Hopkins, last year and kind of got him off this football team. But that's going around. It's tough to kick in Cleveland. And I'll just say it's just the psyche of these guys. It may not. It's mental. So we're not talking about something physical. These guys can do the job. It's almost to say whoever you bring in here, they're going to have the knowledge that, hey, you miss it, you gone. And that adds extra pressure to these guys. So, again, the answer is not going to be bringing in a kicker who's capable. Everybody is capable. It's just the mental aspect. It's to having it not lay with the kicker. The game shouldn't come down to the kick. And until it does, we as a franchise, we're going to be losing those games if it comes down to a kick. It's kind of like a flip of the coin, and always, almost, never in our favor. I don't want to coin a new term talking about we almost always almost win, but we're not in. It doesn't happen. In our favor usually when the game has to come down to a kick. It just doesn't. It hasn't been working out for us.
Josh, Phil Dawson. The kicker from 99 to 2012. And then since then, it feels like kicking has become the quarterback position where we add another 3 or 4 names onto that jersey over the 2-year span, something like that. Is there, think to that 12, 13-year period, is there a common reason why the Browns just have not been able to get the kicker spot right long term?
It's nothing that they're doing administratively, management wise. If you all look at, who they brought in, the players were behind the team, the city. We were behind Dustin Hopkins. I talked to him in training camp. We were behind him. We were like, all right, last year's out. He made some game winners last year for us. It was kind of roller coaster for him, up and down. I was behind. I was ready to go into the season with him, knowing that if it came down to it, he could make this. Surely he could. And then we let him go, and I'm like, okay, this kid Smith he may be a little better, and he again suffers from the same thing. It's for me. I don't take the curse. These curse situations that happen with our kicking situation. We just chose wrong, and maybe he'll have another opportunity to prove himself. But it's a mental game. I think they still going to bring in kickers. They'll be negligent to not do so and to have guys ready to go. They probably already have guys on their way. They probably will, come be out there tomorrow on a Tuesday. And, we'll have kickers in our mind. I guarantee Andrew Berry has a few lined up to where if he needs to pull the trigger, the kicker will come in on Friday and kick on Sunday. The kicker will come in on Saturday and kick on Sunday. That's how it is. Kickers are like pitchers, and when you relate it to the NFL, so they can come in and all they have to do is kick. It's not a lot of, getting to understand the flow of thing that needs to happen. None of that really happens. They come in, they do their job. If they can do it, they stay. If not, they're gone. That's how it works with kickers.
Last year, defensively, it wasn't great. Is the defense back?
It's too early to tell. They started out on a great footing. Again, the pressure was there. They bottled the whole Bengals offense up. Again, the question marks were, after the loss of Emerson, could Greg Newsome, hold down the fort on that side? I think he did a really good job, because you look at the defense as a whole. You don't look at it as one play. Yeah, I think he got a pass interference here and there and, some misassignments maybe. But as a whole, Greg Newsome did a really good job. The defense as a whole did a really good job. Denzel Ward, they continue to prove themselves and to become worthy. I don't want to say just yet the defense is back, but they proved themselves. They started out with good momentum. Now they got to string these good games like this along. All of them, offense, defense, and special teams. And it's sad to say that the game came down to just one guy, but that's how it is in the biggest team sport. It comes down to one guy, one or two guys here or there. And it's just unfortunate. It's keep being our kicker or drop passes here and there. But that's what football is. It's the biggest team sport that everybody needs to contribute to winning. If every person, but not one person, does their job, then we still can fail. A lineman, getting a holding penalty on a touchdown pass that would have won the game. It could have been that way. But for us, it seems to be this kicking fiasco that has been plaguing our team's success.
Josh Cribbs, Browns legend, on the fan hotline. Josh, how do you think Joe Flacco played yesterday?
I think Joe Flacco did an amazing job. 40-plus years old, came out there, ran the offense effectively. It was a good game. I enjoyed watching that football game. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the offense going out there and answering. That's huge for offense. When the defense, again, defense didn't give up really big plays. They had to, create these drives. They had the 12-play drive, and they nickeled and dimed their way down the field. And then our offense, they responded. At halftime, I had went live on my Instagram, and I was just, saying to fans, I wanted our offense to kind of respond with touchdowns. But when they weren't able to respond with touchdowns, they did have a field goal there, made it was 10-14. So that was good. But I didn't want it to get carried away to whereas our response to the Bengals scoring was extra, was a field goal instead of a touchdown. But I think overall, Joe Flacco, he was the Flacco of old, over, 3 touchdown pass. He was Joe Flacco that we need to be successful. I would have loved more of a running game because I hate to rely on Joe Flacco's arm game in and game out. That's the only caveat to that offense, and I hope Judkins can kind of alleviate and help that running back room, that running back by committee room, have more production. Guys that I was really excited about, I'm excited about Fanning. That tight end Fanning. To have him and Njoku on the field at the same time, I think made it very easy for Flacco to have targets around him. Not just any target, but big targets. When Fanning and Njoku on the field at the same time, they had success. They had a lot of success. So they keep running those packages and running plays, getting Fanning the football, getting the Chief the football. I think this offense will have success, and they will. They were the top receivers, Fanning and Sampson. Sampson had a quite a game out of the backfield. So Joe Flacco ran that offense to precision, and I was excited to see it.
Let me ask you, I obviously got a lot of kudos, but I was curious what you thought overall about the game plan from Stefanski and the approach he had, because he took that Bengals game just a little bit different than what we'd seen him previously do.
Yeah, and again, in my opinion, they did enough on offense to win the game. If you take it back to the drops that would have could have led to scoring points. Let's just take away those drops for a minute. They get that extra field goal at 17-17, then they win by a field goal. They get the extra the PAT. That ties the game, and then they win by a field goal. That means you did enough offensively to win the game, which is the object of the game. The offense gave an opportunity for this team to win. They have to do more though. When you are plagued on special teams, and I don't want to fault the special teams in general. When the specialist is having problems, the offense has to do more, and more is going to be required of you. His game plan was enough. It just wasn't enough to win, and overcome the challenges of having and being plagued with kicking issues. I had no problem with Coach Kevin Stefanski's offense because when you stay on track, hey, everyone had success. He was running here and there, passing. He had some great attacks, great opportunity. Again, it was showcasing Fanning. I think for him to be in the Wildcat, for him to get the screens, and Njoku had a screen, even though it got kind of batted away. So he's really, really utilizing those tight ends in a great way that gave the offense success and kept this offense on track, which I love to see. He didn't lean on Judy and those receivers. Again, if not for the drops, this offense was, firing on all cylinders, except for the production of the run game. I think the production of just standing in the backfield, handing it off, and letting them, get 4 or 5 yards a pop consistently wasn't there, which made sense for this offense to flow like it did. Heavy on the pass and run, give me something when you can.
3-time Pro Bowler, Browns legend, also co-host of the Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs, The Cribbs Show, as it's known. Josh, excellent stuff. Love the passion, love the knowledge. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man. I enjoyed it. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Next
All right,
week
go
it don't
Browns.
get no tougher.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Cribbs there on the Fan Hotline.